Hello everyone. I'm sure most of you are thinking, where were you guys? Or you haven't posted anything in forever. What gives? Look, I know that we've made these types of videos all the time. We come on, we apologize, we give you updates on what's changing and etc. And I suppose you could say that this is the kind of video, even though the title clearly says how I edit my videos, but I just want to take the time, or take most of your time as I explain a few things, if that's alright. But if you don't want to, then feel free to click on this time lapse right here. Right here. I'm going to give you until the count of 3 to click over here if you just want to get to how I edit my videos. And 3. Okay, for those of you who are still here and want an explanation, then thank you for not skipping. For starters, I would like to say that I speak for everyone here, by the way. We are sorry, and we apologize for not uploading videos, being consistent with our content, or keeping up with promises we've made in the past. But please understand that when we make plans, it's not always going to be set in stone because things just happen. We would like to keep up with the promises we've made, but some things just don't always go our way, you know? Now, I'm not saying we're not going to do what we've promised, like for example my Patreon. On the 3rd tier, which was the skeleton crew, and most of you are not aware of this at the time because it was later changed, I promised everyone who was in that tier would get a free t-shirt of ours when it was made, which I will get to in a bit, and a free video request. Like you get to request a video every month. And on my end, I would like to apologize on that as well. I've never really forgotten about those who were in that tier and what I've promised. It's been hard searching for a company that can make good quality merch or shirts for us, for our communities to get our hands on, just to fulfill the promises that I've made. But I've been searching for so long and still no luck. Nobody wants to make shirts for us. And I'm sure most of you are asking, well, Skull, whatever happened to that one website where you had shirts? And yes, I do remember, but I wasn't really satisfied with the quality of the shirts that were being made, and the designs of the shirts can be ruined after a couple rinse cycles in your washing machine, so I had to cut ties with them. At the time, we were so eager to give something back to you all, but yet here I am pitching the idea to the crew and telling them we should have merch. And of course I went into it too fast, making promises that I thought I could keep, and not worrying about the consequences that might happen to me later on in the future. And we've seen how all that backfired on not just us, but on me specifically really hard. Plus at some time I was really upset with what I was giving you all after looking back at the designs. I was giving you piss poor quality merch, and the designs I've made were lame and not even that impressive, or nothing flashy or something to brag to your friends. And if I remember, I think it was Aqua sitting at her desk quoting something, and Paradox quoting something she said in the Mario Maker. And honestly, I wish I have never tried to make merch so soon, because I promise you guys good quality merch, and yet I give you piss poor quality merch. But I promise if we do find someone, I will have better design merch rather than just any of the characters that I've already drawn existingly. But if you guys know any companies that makes t-shirts, and I mean good quality t-shirts, then feel free to comment that down below, because I could really use that information. Anyway, for the video request, that was also in the tier. I'll be completely honest, I did forget about the video request, but only for a time though. At the time, when I've seen the video requests that were being made, and we were going to act upon it as soon as possible. But for those of you who requested Aqua to play a game in a video request, I want to apologize on that as well. And just so you don't have to hear it from me, I'll let her tell you about what was going on during that time.
Yeah. At the time when we started to get a little popular, I was excited to do more videos. But most of the videos I've made there were a lot, if not a good handful of hateful comments based on the character I was playing, which is Aqua, of course. And that's when Peridot and Lapis started making an appearance at the channel, and lo and behold, they started to get more popular than me, which didn't bother me, just to clarify. It's just whenever I made an Aqua video of some kind, some, if not all, the feedback I received were pretty hateful. And of course, me starting off when it came to like voiceover and doing online content, I didn't have a proper way to handle all the hate I was receiving, so I dialed back on the Aqua videos. If you actually look back, and I mean way back when Brosuke first started, to when I first appeared, you'll see that there were very little videos of me when Peridot and Lapis made the scene. If you saw to where Peridot and Lapis showed up and work your way up, you'll see that I tried to make videos of me, but everyone always wanted to see them, plus the hateful comments were still there. Anyways, it kinda sucked for me, but you shouldn't be mad at Skull. I mean, why would you be mad? We're not perfect. And yes, he told me about the request on his Patreon, but I really wasn't myself at the time. If I'm going to make a video request, I prefer it if I was like at my best, 100%, if not 90. Not when I'm just pretending that everything is okay. And to be frank, I sort of forgot about the request too. When I got my confidence back in that video, Destroy Everything, the Perfect Vermin, which is a good video, if I might add. You should all go watch that. Anyways, but please don't blame Skull. We're all at fault here. We've made promises we failed to keep, but we're still going to uphold the old promises that were made. But only on the Patreon. Just the Patreon. Do you have any idea on how many promises we made in past videos that we've done? Like, for example, promising a Mario Maker every month? Yeah, right. Or the promise about playing Undertale on the channel. Which, honestly, we would still do if anyone wants to see that. That whole 2 to 3 videos every other week, we saw how soon that failed. Like I said, we're not perfect. Which is why...
Okay, Aqua, I think that message was very much well received. No need to go any further than that.
You just stopped me just because you wanted to say it yourself, didn't you?
Not important, but thank you for clarifying that information to the audience, Aqua. As Aqua said, we'll uphold our promises, but only on the Patreon. But anyway, I've decided that we're not going to make any more promises from here on. We find it more better for us to just keep making content that we enjoy doing rather than trying to keep up with a trend or a trendy game. There will be times where we will take suggestions in the community tab, like if we make a post, like a voting poll or something. But most of our video suggestions will only come from the Skeleton Crew, if you're on my Patreon, of course. Other than that, we'll just keep playing the games that we feel like playing. For us, it's better for us to make no promises, so that way we don't have to feel like we're hurting someone or letting someone down. From now on, we'll just keep the promises to ourselves, or at least some of that we know we'll be able to do, at least. We just want to go back to making videos where we had fun doing them, not just because some other YouTuber played them, but we will consider on playing them only if it looks fun to us. So again, I just want to say I am very, very sorry to anyone that me or anyone here on the channel has hurt because of promises that we've made in the past and we haven't been able to uphold them. We are very sorry on that. Even if we were to do the promises we made in the past now, I know now that it'll be a bit lackluster, but better to happen now than for it to never happen in the first place, you know? Or how did that quote go again? Better late than never, I think. Anyway, and of course, I'm talking about the Patreon member promises. Any other promises we made in the past, sweeping that under the rug. I am very sorry. We are just going to sweep that under the rug and we are going to start over. We are starting fresh. And aside from us being away from the channel and making failed promises, we've just been dealing with life stuff or IRL stuff. Technically, I have 2 jobs, being a YouTube editor and working an actual job. Some of the other crew members, some of them, not all of them, also have jobs of their own, so scheduling tends to get a little tight for us when we're trying to get one of them to be available. So just like how we did back in the old days, the videos will come out when they come out. We want to give you all good quality content rather than rushed content. Okay, me and Aqua pretty much said what we needed to say, so if anyone is in the Skeleton Crew on my Patreon, please DM me in the Discord or email us your video request. You'll probably have to look back at the Skeleton Crew tier list because I did make some adjustments. Now that that's done, let's finally get to the video. I don't want to keep dragging this on, otherwise this entire segment may as well just be a video of its own. What's going on, my boneheads? I hope all of you are fed and ready for the web. Yes, I know it's corny, I'm still working on it. Also, do you like it when I do the effects on my voice? The echoey-like voice or the gassy whale-like voice that you hear in the background every time I'm speaking? I'm guessing for the majority of this video I'll turn the effect off, but comment down below if you want me to keep it on next time, or keep it off. Depends. It all depends. Anyway, some of you may be wondering, hey Skullptic or hey Brosuke, how do you edit Brosuke Senpai videos, or how can I do what you do so I can try it myself? Well, I am glad you asked, random person in the comments. You came to the right place, for I'm about to show you how I edit our videos. But before we move on, I'm sure most of you have noticed how I said, hey Brosuke or hey Skull, and some of our Discord members have DM'd me saying, hey Skullptic, are you Brosuke Senpai? And to answer everyone's confusion, no, I am not Brosuke Senpai. Skullptic is not Brosuke, and Brosuke is not Skullptic. Skullptic is the person you are hearing now. I am he, I am they, I am him, I am the king of... I'm not really the king, but anyway, I am Brosuke's editor/artist for his channel, but you can just call me Skull. I voice both Steven Universe or Radicles, and I'm not really sure how many times I had to address that, but there will be a link in the description of this video where both me and Brosuke introduce Amethyst and Pearl's redesign, just to show you that both me and him were in the same room and we are not the same person. Alright, are we done? Okay, alright, let's move on. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so we are all on the same page now, right? Right. I can't really hear you because this is a video, but I'm going to assume that you all said yes. So the first thing I do when I edit a video is to have my layout ready, and by layout I mean to have everything I need when I'm editing a video, the character I'm going to use, which I will explain in this video, the video and the gameplay, depending on what video you are recording, the recorded audio, which is the voice recording, and memes and add-ons. I don't have to tell you what memes are, but add-ons are technically things that you would want to add to your video, like, for example, a picture of Peridot on the internet, or someone drinking water, or someone standing on top of a table and falling off of it. But I'm sure you get what I mean. So that doesn't sound so hard. Just 4 things you need when editing a video in your editing software. For me, I use Adobe Premiere Pro when editing a video. Now, of course, it does cost money to use an Adobe program. You can't really just buy the whole program. It's a monthly subscription, which sucks for me. But here are some free editing programs you can use if you decide you want to edit videos. There are editing programs such as Clipchamp, CapCut, DaVinci, and many others I might be leaving out of this list. You can always look up a YouTube video or Google search some free editing programs. But just please be careful. You don't want to click an unknown link and get a virus. But if you're the type of person who doesn't mind spending money, you can buy an editing program. It's your money, I can't really tell you what to do with it, but just know that if you do decide to buy an editing program, just be sure this is what you want to do. This is where your time is going to be. Just a little heads up. Now that that's been established, let's talk characters. Now, if you're an artist such as myself, you can draw out the character or characters you want. If it's an OC, an anime, a cartoon, a video game character, or etc., you can draw them out. But if you're not an artist, you can always commission your character to be drawn by any fellow artist that you may know. If you have a friend that's an artist, maybe they'll be able to draw your character for free, or give you a friend's discount. And of course there are VTubers who use 2D or 3D characters for their videos, but Having one made for you is very expensive. It can range to about $1,000 or $2,000 depending on what kind of model or character you're trying to get made or how detailed you want it to be. A lot goes into being a VTuber, but those are a can of worms I do not feel like opening. Maybe someday Aqua will tell you about the requirements and time that goes into being a VTuber, because she knows more than me. If you want a character to be drawn, I will have an open commission soon. I will let you know when I am available. Just know that it will cost. Also, I don't know when I started shifting accents during the video. I might just be a bit random at times, so forgive me for that. So let's get back to talking characters. For the sake of this video, I will use Peridot as an example. I use Paint Tool Sai as my art program. This is where I draw all my characters. Kind of. The property of these characters of course belongs to Rebecca Sugar and Warner Bros. I suppose most of the newcomers don't know this, so I'll explain it real quickly before resuming. The reason why I decided to draw most of the Steven Universe cast the way I did, or as I like to call it, Skullptified, is to separate the character from the show itself, to kind of get a fair use or to be different from the character from the original show. Meaning, if I were to use a character from the show exactly how they were from the show, we would probably get copyrighted for that, or for the use of the character that obviously does not belong to us. That is why Aquamarine has went from this to this.
Damn, boy, he's extra thick!
Okay, I did not know I was making her that thick, or cow, or short stack. See, she looks nothing like herself in the show itself. The difference is night and day. Would you even say this was Aquamarine anymore?
No.
Neither is Spinel and most of the other cast. Alright, that's enough. No more sidetracking from here on. This video will continue as instructed. Okay? Okay. I'm using Peridot as an example. If you have a character thought out, you're going to need a select few of emotional expressions. We'll start with a few simple ones such as joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. And yes, I am describing the exact characters from Inside Out the movie. Now typically this would be all you need, but of course there are other emotions that would fall under these same categories, such as expressions like laughter or contemplating, which is like thinking or pondering.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Like a pose, and etc. Like for example, Peridot does have those expressions that I've just described to you, but for me, I did went a bit too far as to how many expressions I needed for a character. That's why they're so expressive. Like for example, the YouTuber SaberSparks, I promise I will make this quick. He edits his videos sort of the same way we do, except he only uses 15 expressions. He might have more, I'm not sure. Just any one of our characters, just one on our channel, can clock in over 100 or more expressions per image. But you don't have to do that because that's just what my dumb decided to do rather than just keep it simple. Now that you have your character's expressions, be sure to save them into a folder like I did. It helps to keep things organized and you want to save them as a PNG file. Or if you have a program that can remove backgrounds on your character, that would help a lot because you don't want any background on your character. You just want the character itself. So no white background, no black background. It just has to be just a character, no background. Now, let's talk video. If you're not recording a video game, you're just trying to record yourself or record a blog or something, you can use your phone or digital camera. Just remember, the better the phone or the camera, the better the quality of your videos. But if you are recording a video game, you can use a capture card. You will have to buy one if you plan on recording a console game. Now, some consoles have capturing options, like clipping your video. Like Xbox or PlayStation, you can use a flash drive and copy your clips from your console to your USB. Either that or you can look up a YouTube tutorial. For capture cards, I use an Elgato HD60 to record our gameplay videos from our consoles. Also, if you plan on recording gameplay from an older console, you will need some additional add-ons to get them working. That's why YouTube is your best friend for information. But let's say that you don't have a capture card and you can't afford one. What if you just want to play and record your games straight from your PC with no additional cost? Well, you're in luck, because there is a program you can use and it is free. It's called the OBS Studio, and yes, you can Google it, type that in, OBS Studio, and it is a free program you can download. With the OBS, you're able to record any footage straight from your computer, whether if it's a YouTube React video or if you're going to record a PC game straight from Steam. OBS captures all of it, including sound. If you have a built-in mic in your computer or laptop, that helps too. Whichever one you decide to do, be sure to have your video footage ready. Alright, so the more I kept talking, the more I realized I was dipping way too much into an accent, more like a British or some type of accent. This part will be short. You will need your audio. If you're using a camera on your phone, you don't really need this part. But if you have a mic, you will need a program to record your voice. Luckily, Audacity is also free. That's what we use to do any kind of voiceovers or any kind of voice recordings. Once you do your voice recordings, you will have a raw audio. So be sure to look up on YouTube on how to edit your audio. Now, if you just want the raw audio, that's fine too. You can just save it as an MP3 and then boom, you have your recorded audio. And last but not least, we have memes or any other additional videos that can go good with your video. So, yeah. Happy hunting.
What did he say? Yo, what did you say?
Alrighty, now that we finally have everything we need to edit a video, let's get started. Finally.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Now, open up your editing program. I will be using Premiere Pro and only explaining it in Premiere Pro, so you can try to follow along. This is your project tab. All your stuff will go in here, your videos, your audios, your characters, etc. But for now, we're only going to grab the video and the audio, so don't worry about all the other stuff yet. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using this project. It's a Spinel video I haven't got started on editing yet. The video I'm editing is Spinel and the egg fried rice, so look forward to that soon whenever I finish editing this video, because I'm using it as the example. Okay, over here is your timeline. Basically, all video programs has a timeline. This is where your video, audio, and all your other stuff will be dumped in. So let's go ahead and drag and drop the video file over here in the timeline. Be sure to do the same for the audio. You don't want to overlap the one that the video already has, so just kind of put that audio underneath the other audio. Now that that's done, you are finally ready to get to the editing part. What I like to do first is to line up my video with my audio. That is why before we do any recording, I like to make a sound cue before we start recording, so that way I know exactly where to line up the video and the audio. So if you look here, I'm going to go ahead and play the audio. Yes, I know, it's Coaches. I like listening to him. So anyway, if the audio is not loud enough and you can't hear it on the voice recording part, turn that audio up just so that way you'll be able to hear the comparison between the two. What I like to do is I like to use the arrow keys on my keyboard just to move the timeline frame by frame, because I want to be able to hear exactly where the beat is. When I know where the beat is, I put a cut here. You can see how I put a cut right here in the video, and it kind of cuts the audio of that as well. Now, right here, there's a mute. So I mute this audio and I move on to the voice recording audio. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to use the arrow keys to listen for that audio. And I'm going to drag the video voice recording back a little bit or forward, whichever way I'm doing it in the video, and I want to match it up with the audio right here, so that way I can get the video audio and the voice recording audio to match itself. Now you can play music or you can say a loud noise, but I mean, if you recorded yourself on camera, you don't really have to do this. But if you're doing this for a gameplay that you're doing on your console or your PC, you kind of want to just play something out loud, so that way both the video recording can hear it and your mic can hear it, because you want the mic to be able to hear it so that way you'll be able to make the sound cue perfect. Now that you got your sound cue matched up, before we do anything else, you want to right click here in this empty space and you want to click add track. I like to add 8, but you can add as many as you want. But for me, I like to add 8 so that way I have as much room as I can if I decide to add anything else to the video. Like if I want to add multiple characters or more than one meme in this one specific spot. And you want to do the same thing for audio, because sometimes you just want to have like a certain sound effect, or you want to play some music. You want to have more than one track. So right click, add track, and then just keep doing it. Okay, now that we got both parts done already, what I like to do is I like to go through the whole video and I like to watch the whole thing. But what I like to do is I like to cut my audio and my video until that way I can get rid of any parts that I don't need. Sorry, Goofy. Anyway, that's exactly what I said. You want to watch through the entire video and cut out parts that you don't need in a video. Like if there's too much meandering or if there's a silent part, I just kind of cut that and get rid of it and just kind of move on and so forth and etc. So I do this from the very beginning all the way to the end, but again, only get rid of the parts that you don't really need.
A few moments later.
Once you have finished cutting your footage, let's go back over to the project tab. Now you want to create a folder. You can name it whatever you want because this is where your character is going to be going. Now double click that folder and double click in that empty space again like I'm doing. And you want to find wherever your character is located and drag and drop them in there. Next, I find my starting image, I drag and drop it into the timeline, and then I would extend the image from the beginning all the way to the end. So that way I have a whole bar to mess with that is just Spinel. After that, I go through the entire video again, listening to the whole video again, and listening for the expression cue that Spinel may make. Because you want to match what she's saying versus what pose you're trying to use for her. Okay, now I'm going to play the video and listen for her audio. Oh, also, when having your character's poses, be sure to have an open and closed mouth pose. It helps signifies the character is speaking. Blinking, however, is optional. You don't really need blinking, but I have blinking because I'm just taking extra steps. Notice how Spinel is already saying her intro. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the video to when she said hello, and I'm going to pick the right image of Spinel to match her hello. Now I'm going to keep her mouth open, don't think too much into that, and I'm going to wait till she's finished speaking before applying the closed mouth version. And there we go. Now you want to do that for the rest of the video. Sometimes expressions can change during the tone of the voice. Like if they sound sad or getting scared, you'd want to use the right pose to match that. And to be honest, the rest is pretty self-explanatory. Sounds easy, right? Well, now that we've made it this far into the video, allow me to explain several different ways I edit my videos. But please, pay attention because this will be the reason why the videos take so long to be finished. So not only that you're going to learn how I edit videos, but you'll learn to understand why it takes so long for me to finish them. So to start off, I have 3 different ways to edit a video. I'll rank the difficulty from easiest to hardest, starting with the easiest, of course. First method, I like to call it the
I don't want to do any effort. In fact, I don't want to do any effort at all.
The most easiest way to edit a video. It's literally just inserting the character in just the intro and the outro, while the rest of the video is just the voice recording and the gameplay. It's just a video with hardly no effort at all. Oh, as I'm explaining this, comment down below which method you would prefer me to do. Maybe I'll change it up depending on which method you'd want me to do. It's up to you. Method 2 is similar to method 1. I still insert my characters from the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, like the first one, and the rest is just still gameplay. The only difference is that I have characters show up on certain intervals of the video. A really good example of that are the Retro Universe videos. Steven and Spinell would sometimes show up during the gameplay of the video until we reach the end. I like to call this one,
fine, you win, I'll do it.
It technically means I'll work, but I won't put a lot of effort into it. This is normal difficulty. And lastly, we have method 3, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. This is the hard mode of editing. Well, for me anyway. This is pretty self-explanatory. I insert my characters like normal. The only difference for this one is
rip and tear until it is done.
I input the characters from the beginning of the video all the way till the end of the video, memes and all. So to explain it simply, method 3 takes a long time to edit. Also, not to mention the fact that if we decide to do a duo video or to have more than one person in a video, then the editing time to be completed is now doubled, or if not tripled, depending on how many of them there are in the video. That means I'm dealing with maybe 2 voice recordings and 2 characters at the same time, or 3 voice recordings and 3 characters. I had to go through the entire video inserting different poses for each one's interaction. That is a lot of work. That is why it is easier for me to do just one character in a video, but on special occasions we will do duo videos depending on which editing method I'm doing. Alright, now that you know my method styles, I'll go ahead and explain it once more. Method 1 is I'm lazy, but it's easy. Method 2 is putting a bit more effort in, but I'm not really trying either. And method 3 is So there you have it. Comment down below on which style of editing you would prefer me to do, easy, normal, or hard. Just remember what I said about each difficulty. Okay, before we wrap things up, I just want to say personally for me, I like to do method 3. I know it takes longer for me to edit a video, but I'd like to give everyone top quality content. It's not like it's the best content, or it's not like they're animated or anything, but I want to give you guys a full character experience while they're on screen and reacting to whatever's happening. Now, sometimes I will throw in a mixture of method 2 and 3, where sometimes they show up and a lot of the times they do, but you know, it all depends. But for me, preferably, I'd prefer method 3. But if you guys like me to try any of these other methods like 1, 2, or 3, I'll see what I can do. Depends on whichever one you guys want to see me try doing. I pretty much showed you like a little small smidget of how I edit my videos. So if you want to learn more of the other effects that you want to add to your videos, you can, like I said, there are YouTube tutorials and they do help. Well, I hope this video was informative enough for you, and yes, I turned the effect of my voice back on. If you plan on doing the type of editing I do, I encourage it. It is a bit of work to handle, but it's pretty fun once you get the hang of it. But I really do hope you understand as to why editing videos takes so long for me to finish. If I'm willing, which I try my best to be, I always go for method 3 of editing. Regardless of how painfully tedious it is to edit a video, I want to give you all the full immersions of a video alongside the character's experience of that video. But again, feel free to comment which method, I said that already. But in the meantime, look forward to when more videos come out soon. Oh, by the way, I apologize if I didn't address this from the beginning, but this is my Skullptic avatar, but you can just call me Skull. Maybe I might do more videos as me, as my Skull avatar, but again, it all depends if you guys even want to even see my Skull avatar. Well, anyway, I would like to say we're back, but hey, You'll never know what's going to happen, right? Until then, be sure to check your closets. You'll never know what might be lurking in the dark. Be safe, and I hope to see you next time.
Good old secret closet. Let's see what's inside.
Perfect.